Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Maryanne Dersch. I'm your host. Valentine's Day is right around the corner and love is in the air. And today we're going to talk about something we don't usually associate with fundraising, and we absolutely should, and that is love. And I know you're like, love? Yes, we're going to talk about loving relationships and what it looks like in fundraising. We use the phrase donor relationships all the time, but if we're being honest, okay, many of those relationships, they may not feel very loving. They feel transactional, they feel one-sided. We feel like we're doing all the work and hoping that donors don't notice, right? We feel like we have to do certain things to them or for them in order to get something out of them. That is the very definition of transactional, right? If I email them enough, they will give me something back. In this episode, we're going to explore what it actually looks like to be in a loving donor relationships, rooted in honesty, rooted in authenticity, and rooted in alignment. Honest, authentic, aligned relationships. I say it all the time, and I'm going to say it again, and probably many more times this episode. Relationship first, money will follow. But we're going to talk about what that actually looks like and how we can implement this inside our organizations. I'm going to use a framework from the 5 love languages, and I'm going to adapt it to ethically and intentionally aligned fundraising. Because loving donor relationships aren't about getting people to give more. They're about building relationships that feel good, last longer, and create impact and without burnout. This is about, remember, grind and hustle is not sustainable. Grace, ease, and flow is sustainable. When we have honest, aligned, authentic relationships, our needs will be met. The money will come. And I'm not saying we don't ask for money, not none of that. But I'm saying if we are making friends or if we were doing something in order to get somebody to give us money, that is transactional. If we are doing things for our donors because we genuinely love and care about them and to we genuinely want them to know what their support means to us, that's a loving relationship. And and one thing I want to say very clearly that you already know, but I want to add this to the framework is energy speaks louder than words. We often focus on our words, but not the energy and intention behind it. And people feel that. Remember, energy is felt. And a lot of times we dismiss it because, it's intangible, yet it is real. I believe that the intention with which you do something gets received by the other person. If I'm sending that email out because I want somebody to react a certain way to it, right? If I do this for you, you're going to do this for me. That is transactional. But if I'm doing this for you because I genuinely want to give you value and make your life better, and letting go of the results, I know that will come back to me. Like if you look at your own relationships, like I'm thinking about my husband right now. And I think there's, room for a lot of this, but I cook, right? I have learned to love cooking. It took me a very long time, but now I actually really enjoy it. I didn't for a very long time. And I'll make him something really nice to eat because I want to do something nice for him. Not necessarily because I need something back, like, oh, I'm going to make him this meal because I want him to do this for me. I'm going to make him this meal because I know it makes him happy. Um, and or the other day he started a new job and he came home and he was super tired and I was really busy and I hadn't thought about anything to make for dinner. And I said to him, hey, what are you thinking? And I realized, you know what? He's not thinking. I'm just going to handle this. Right? I'm not doing it because I need something back. I'm doing it because I genuinely want to make him happy. And that's what I think about when I look at the donor relationships. And this is with my clients too, with you who are listening. I'm doing this because I want to give you value. Do I at some point would love for you to reach out to me because you want training or coaching? Absolutely. And I want to make sure that I am giving you this with love and good intention, knowing, right, that relationship first, the work will follow when it's ready. Instead of saying, okay, what can I do or say to make them do this thing? Because that doesn't really work. Again, the intention is off because I'm trying to be of a little bit manipulative. And also there's really no magic wand. There's really nothing we can do or say that's going to like, oh, I'll do that, right? People do things when they're ready to do them. All we can do is be honest, aligned, authentic, and available when they're ready. So let's get into this, okay? Let's first talk about what makes a relationship loving. Be a loving relationship, like I just mentioned, it's not manipulative, it's not performative, and it's not transactional, right? We don't do things to get, it's like I said, people aren't ATMs. I'm going to put this in, these words in, and get money out. It's not performative where, hey, I'm doing things just to be, because I want you to notice. I'm right, or manipulative. And a lot of times I feel like when we find people, when somebody comes to me and says, well, can you help me find people with money? That, and I know that this is not their intention, that is manipulative. Why would I make friends with somebody that has money just because they have money? Like if somebody made friends with you just because you had something without regard for your actual worth, that would be considered manipulative. And so it's like relationship first, but go find the people who are passionate about what you do, who have the same vision, who want to see the same results in the world. Go find them, the money will come. Okay. A loving relationship is, again, honest, clear, direct, no games, truth telling. It is authentic, real humans, real conversations, and it is aligned. Shared values, mutual yeses. And what do I mean by mutual yeses? In manipulation, if I win, you lose, right? Or right, or I win, I don't care if you win or lose. I just want what I want. In alignment, a mutual yes. I know that what's happening benefits everyone. Like I wouldn't invite you to give a gift if I didn't feel like that gift was truly aligned with who you are. Love languages don't replace integrity, they express integrity. This is how we express our integrity. When fundraising is loving, donors don't feel managed, they feel respected, right? We love people, and I say this a lot, we love people for who they are, not what they can do for us or how much they can or how much money they have. We love people for who they are. So this is what this looks like. When I say love people who they are, not what they can do for you, um, then this is what that looks like. Okay. Number one, the words of affirmation. My favorite. Honest appreciation. Some donors feel most valued through words, but only when those words are true. Okay. This is about specific gratitude, clear language, and naming who the donor is, not just what they gave. An honest affirmation could sound something like this: because of you, this work exists, or your values are deeply aligned with this mission. I see how much your values are deeply aligned with our mission. It does not sound like generic thank yous, over the top praise, the halo, or emotional inflation. It is honest, it is true, and it is thoughtful. The key distinction here is authentic gratitude reflects, it doesn't exaggerate. And that's when I say we love people who they are, not what they have or what they can do for us. Authentic communication reflects, it doesn't need to exaggerate. There's no reason to exaggerate because the love is there. I had a call the other day with a gentleman, and I've worked with his organization many years ago in the past. But I know this group and I know how passionate they are about what they do. And his board is not active. And I said to him, I know that your board is full of passionate, committed people. They just don't know how to express that as a leader. right? And I'm not exaggerating. I said that with honest love because I do know. And he said, yes, because they are committed, but yet their board service is lacking. So it's not that they don't love the cause. We know that. Where the gap is their role in expressing that. Right? How to turn that into action. And that's something I could say with honesty. I didn't have to be like, oh, you guys are so amazing. Like if you had a friend and every time you're with that friend couldn't shut up about how awesome they are, how, right? How much would you be with that friend? Yet when you have a friend and you tell them what they mean to you with honesty, you see them light up. You see them light up. If your gratitude could be sent to anyone, it won't land with someone who values words. Now, of course, in love languages, people value different languages, right? You could be acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, all of that. Right? So part of your work is to be paying attention. Part of loving someone, I guess, paying attention to their language, right? What appeals to them. And so if people like words of affirmation, then now you know and you can work with that. Okay. Number two, the love language number two, quality time. Creating an authentic presence. Some donors feel most connected through time and conversation. This isn't about meetings or whatever, it's about presence. Quality time can look like one-on-one conversations without an agenda, right? Just an exploration, listening more than talking, and inviting donors into dialogue, not pitches, which really is how we operate all the time. But with a quality time person, this matters the most. This is the hard truth. If every conversation leads to an ask, donors stop trusting the conversation, right? If every conversation you have with someone will lead to something, they feel manipulated, right? They're not going to trust the relationship. They keep waiting for the other shoe to fall. Authentic time says you matter beyond your money, and that's what builds long-term trust. And if you look at you matter beyond money, of course, and I know you want to make that clear. It, but time, some people do like time. They like that attention. They like to be a part of things. I had a workshop a couple years ago, and this woman said, Maryanne, I need to give people tours, and nobody wants to take a tour. Well, and if you use this guide, maybe somebody with quality time would love a tour because that's something that they would love. But a love language person or an acts of service person is like, I don't really need a tour. What? Some people want their name on the building. Some people would dread that. And so that's learning about what people like. But if it's quality time, then you know that people need time, give them time. If they like to come by and visit, if they like, if you have the kind of clients that because some people do or some people don't, where that they can visit with. So for instance, this organization I was talking about, the board is throwing a birthday party for the kids in their care. And that's such a beautiful thing. And so that tells me that quality time is important to them because they are coming to that. So I can see that. And so because some people say, well, I can't get somebody to have a meeting with me, then quality time may not be their thing. Maybe listen for what their needs are. So I'm going through these five, I know you're listening to think, oh, yep, that's why. Okay, I get it now, right? That's why when I sent that thank you, that person was, emailed me right back and was so pleased. Or that's why I can or can't get a meeting with somebody. Okay, let's keep going. Number three, acts of service. This is aligned ease. Some donors feel love when engagement feels easy. Acts of service include clear proposals, thoughtful follow-up, making giving simple and transparent. Your acts of service is being open to them, listening to their needs, respecting their time, energy, and capacity. When donors have to chase information, decode jargon, or guess next steps, it erodes trust. So an act of service could be from your part is making their giving easy. because you're respecting their time, energy, and most importantly, their capacity. Um, I am serving them by making the process easy for them, by being clear about my intentions, by being thoughtful with my follow-up, by anticipating questions, by being transparent and honest, by listening to their needs and desires and aligning our needs with their desires or not, right? An act of service could be, let's say they don't have the capacity to give this year, and you say, absolutely no problem. That's okay. I know we're in your heart, and when you can, you will. That is an act of service. Another way of looking at active service is volunteering. From the donor's perspective, they get engaged when they are actually contributing to the cause. They want to be in service to you, and that's what excites them. Now, some people they're happy to write the check, right? Their act of service is writing the check. Other people, and that makes them feel good. Other people, they may want to get involved. It may light them up to, like, volunteer, at your place, or getting involved in that way. That is an act of service that's going to delight them and engage them. So really pay attention that I'm creating acts of service because that's what that person likes, and that they also like to be into an act of service. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're on number 4. Oh, hold on. I'm almost done. Um, I respect your time, energy, and capacity, right? When donors have to chase information, decode jargon, or guess next steps, it erodes trust. You have a process you're inviting them into, and you let them know, here's the process, here's what's happens. If you're interested, this is what will happen next. And it relaxes them and it leaves them open to trust. Okay, before I go to number 4, let's reframe words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service. Now let's go a little bit farther to love language of gifts. Okay, this is meaning over marketing. This is not about swag. It's not about giving, sending people a bunch of stuff, that they don't need. It's about donors feel love through gifts that through gifts with tangible meaning, not trinkets. Okay. Might look like a powerful impact story, a photo or letter tied directly to their support, a personalized update to them that shows where they fit into the story. The best gifts answer this question: who am I in this work? If it feels branded instead of meaningful, it misses the mark. A real gift doesn't say, remember us. It says, this matters and so do you. Then you think of like gifts. Well, how can I give people gifts? Right? But gifts is not swag. Gifts is not trinkets. Gifts is tangible, meaningful gifts. A meaningful, heartfelt card. Oh, you see something and you think of someone and you get it for them. My this is not a donor experience, but my daughter's teacher used to see things that she would love, because my daughter was obsessed with Billie Eilish. She's autistic and she was obsessed with Billie Eilish. And her teacher knew that. She's like, oh my God, I saw this poster. Can I get it for her? Absolutely. Because this teacher knew my daughter. Right? Um, it's, I get a birthday card every year from some of the organizations that I donate to, and the staff signs it. And yeah, I know that like they probably sit and sign a bunch of cards, but I still feel good. It's a little gift to me. They could not do that, and there's always a little personal note. Those are little gifts. If people like to be gifted like that, this is a really easy thing to do. And this isn't about spending money as much as it is about creating meaningful connection, a powerful impact story. Like if like some people just love the gift of a story, give them the gift of a story. This happened today and I knew you would love it. I had a call the other day. I'm working with this woman and she's lovely. And she knows that one of her donors loves the story. So she'll make little videos for her and send them to her because that's a gift that you're giving to that person. Remember, who am I in this work? Like, who are you in this work? What is the intention behind this work? If it feels branded instead of meaningful, it may be missing the mark. Again, energy speaks louder than words, and this is your opportunity to really see the intention with which you're doing something. If you're getting a bunch of trinkets or branded items or what to give to people, because you think they're going to remember you, that may not be the best intention or the best use of your money. Now, it could be. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying, but from a marketing perspective, we want to look at meaning. Like, what is the meaning behind it? And what is the tangible meaning behind what you're doing? And if it says this matters and so do you, then you can think about it. Okay, love language number 5, shared experiences are present. Now, this is about belonging without pressure. Some donors feel most connected when they can be with the mission. This is almost like when we were talking about acts of service, but I think it's a little bit different and a little bit nuanced. But this might include site visits, program tours, small gatherings, immersive experiences. The presence must be an invitation, not leverage, right? When experiences are used to pressure people into giving, donors will feel trapped, right? Their fight or flight's going off, they want out. But when they're used to build belonging, donors feel invested. Belonging creates sustainability, but only when it's freely chosen. Remember, an influence, right? It's the energy of choice. How can I get people to do what I want them to do, but I want them to choose to choose to do it. Right? This is about them choosing it. It's freely chosen. It's not pressured, it's not leveraged, right? I'm not doing site visits, program tours, gatherings, or any of those things to get you to do something. I'm doing it because it creates belonging, it creates connection. It is a shared experience that we can build from. So thinking about the intention, like I said, the woman who said, I want to take a tour. Okay, when people want to take a tour, yeah, I would love to have a tour. Then, is that tour about pressuring somebody to do something or trying to get them to do something? Or is it about sharing what you do and witnessing their experience and wanting them to have a great experience? And I mentioned immersive experiences, and I wish people would think more about these because I think these can be really helpful. An immersive experience could be like a Covenant House when they do the sleep outs, when they have people sleep out at night as a fundraiser. Youth in Need here in St. Louis locally does this as well. They do a fundraiser where board and different people can it's like a walk, except you're committing to sleeping out at night to feel what it feels like to be a homeless teenager. That's an immersive experience, right? But I'm giving that to you so that you can feel more connected to the people we serve, not so that you'll give me money. Now, it can be a fundraiser, of course, right? Like I'm going to raise money to do it. That's okay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it is about the immersive experience and that shared experience. The money will follow, right? The money will follow. And and so I can hold space for two things, which is, yeah, I can fundraise for this and I can ask my friends to support me and pledge this night out. And also, and I'm there for the experience, right? And as a fundraiser, I am there to create these shared experiences where people feel belonging. Belonging creates sustainability. People come for the cause, they stay for the community. So shared experience and presence is what that means. And for different people, community can feel differently. right? And that's okay. Like I'm sorry. What I mean is for different people, the love language of community can feel really strong for them. That's something that they really want. And also, I can tell you, almost every tour, small gathering, immersive experience will change people, right? They will be different than when they came than when they left. You will have impacted them, and that's all you as a fundraiser should want, is for them to have a moving, connected growth experience. Because if you do that, everything else on the other side is going to be taken care of. Remember, belonging creates sustainability. People come for the cause, they stay for the community, but only when it's freely chosen. It is not pressure. If you're giving a tour and at the end of the tour, you and that person who's on your tour and they know you're going to ask for money, they are uncomfortable. They could be uncomfortable the whole time because they're like, how much is she going to ask me for? What's she going to say? Do I want to give? I don't know. No, I'm giving you this tour because I'm so excited about what we do and I think you're really going to love it because I know you care about, feeding people or care about sick kids or whatever. You know that they have that value and you want to share your work with them. Okay. The critical reframe is love language. Love languages are not a strategy. Here's the big picture. Okay. If you're using love languages to get donors to give more, you're missing the point of this. Love languages help us express care, but care comes first, right? When I'm of value to you, you'll be of value to me. That's influence. So my love languages express care. And the care has to come first. If I would love to raise more money, which I know we all do, my first job is to care more for the people that, you're right? Because once I care about them, once I demonstrate the care comes first. Healthy donor relationships don't come from saying the right thing, they come from being in the right relationship. It's not about saying the right thing. It's about being in the right relationship. And I'm a words person. I love words. I love making words. I I love words, but words is not why people give, okay? It's not because you say the magic words. It's because they come from being in the right relationship. And sometimes alignment means letting a relationship go. Letting a relationship go that's not working anymore. A reluctant yes is not a win, and an aligned yes changes everything. It is okay to let somebody go. It is totally fine. Again, healthy relationships, even in your own life, right? Any healthy relationship doesn't come from saying the right thing. It comes from being in the right relationship. I'm going to give you an example of this. When I was working with an organization and the organization had changed over the years. And so why some people were in it from decades ago isn't what they were doing now. And so some of the stuff that they were doing now, they weren't really promoting very much or talking about because they didn't want to make their older donors feel disconnected. Now I get that, right? Because people have a sense of community, but also they weren't really being aligned, honest, and authentic with who they were because they were subverting a little bit of some of the new mission because their older donors may not agree with that. And what we decided was if we want to have honest, authentic relationships, sometimes, it is okay to let go. And it's hard to disappoint people. It's hard to have a donor say, you weren't what you once were. I don't feel connected anymore. No one really wants that. And yet, one of the most loving thing you can do is let that person go because who you truly are and who they are aren't in alignment anymore. And that's okay. And I know you probably had relationships like this in your own life, even jobs that you have. Like you're just not in alignment anymore. There's nothing wrong. It's just not enough right. And the love that you can show somebody is to let them go. That's the most loving thing you can do. They weren't right for you. They're never going to be right for you. Remember, in a love language, right? This is about everyone winning. This is about the idea that that's remember manipulation, honest, authentic, aligned is it's good for both of us. If it's no longer good for both of us, we're going to let them go. But let them go in a loving way, like reflecting, yes, I understand how disappointing this is for you. I get it. And also, I want you to feel good about what you're giving to, and I wanted you to be in the right place. And if this isn't it, I completely understand. Remember, a reluctant, pressured yes is not a win, and it is not sustainable. An aligned yes changes everything. Okay, how to listen for your donor's love language. This is going to be the last part of this. How to listen, okay? You don't have to guess, but you can listen for clues. Do they ask for conversation or clarity? Right? Do they respond to stories or structure? Right? Do they respond to stories or do they like to understand the systems and the structure that you operate in? Do they value efficiency or do they value experience? And here's the most loving thing you can do is ask them, how do you like to stay connected to the work? Just ask them. Because, like, that woman was trying to give tours and she said, I couldn't get anybody to take a tour. I said, well, what do they want? I don't know. I'm supposed to be giving tours. Why? What do they want? Ask them, how would you like to be connected to the work? Listening is the most powerful and loving fundraising skill there is. Ask them, what matters to you? What makes you stay connected? What is the best way for us to stay connected with you? They will tell you. You don't have to guess. And when you practice your listening skills, you're going to start hearing it. Oh, goodness. I can hear that they love those words of affirmation. Oh, I can't wait to tell this person because she loves when I tell her these things. Or, oh, this person loves stories. Oh, this person would love to have this immersive experience. You know this. I think you know this. And I think you could actually probably go through your top donors and identify what they are just by knowing them. You could even maybe add this to your CRM if you wanted to try to suss it out. Some people value efficiency. Some people, they're happy to be connected with you just to get that annual report and send you a check. That's all they need. And you're like, oh, but what if I could deepen the relationship? Okay, but is that what they need? What do they want? A group a couple years ago, I did a retreat, and this group's like, we have these mid-level donors, and we want to boost them to higher level. How do we do that? Well, first of all, what do they want? Do they want to be more connected? If they want to be more connected, how? So my first thought is maybe pull a few of them together and ask them. No, because now you're just guessing. And when we guess, we often guess wrong because we're trying to meet our own needs or what we assume is their needs. Just listen. And I'm talking about listening individually, but also listening as like a focus group. And I facilitate a lot of focus groups, and I've done probably more than 200 of them over the 25 years of my career. And it's always amazing to me when we get a group of people together and just ask them what they will tell us, you know? And because I would ask them, why are they involved? What keeps them coming? What would make them want to get more involved? How do they want to stay connected? And then we don't have to guess. And then you can give them things they actually want. So if they don't want a tour, stop giving them tours. What do they want? They may want stories. They may want, words of affirmation. I don't know, but I can ask. All right. Here's a Valentine's invitation for you. As we head into Valentine's season, stop chasing approval, stop proving your worth, and stop forcing relationships that don't fit. I get this all the time. How many times should I follow up before I let it go? Now, first of all, why you're following up, I want to switch that because the reason you're following up over and over again is probably because in the first couple of meetings, you weren't listening. And I'm just saying this openly because could probably be it. You are not getting their needs. You were not hearing what they were saying. Sometimes people try to say no with let me think about it and get back to you, and they're actually trying to say no. So we can shift that from the beginning so that you're not in this place anymore, but stop chasing approval, right? Hey, I'm here when you need me. I thank you for what you do. Thank you for the value you give. I'm here when you need me. Stop forcing relationships that don't fit. They are exhausting. They're stealing your time, and they're robbing you of money. They're robbing you of building relationships with the people who do matter. When fundraising is honest, authentic, and aligned, yes comes faster. Follow up is easier because you're not chasing somebody who doesn't really want to be there. You're following with people who are aligned and excited. Relationships last longer because you have the same aligned vision and mission. And fundraising feels good and it feels easy. You're not trying to get somebody to do anything. The mutual love and respect that you have drives everything. And that makes it easy. Look in your own friendships and relationships. What are those relationships that are exhausting you? The ones you probably should have let go of a long time ago. The ones where maybe you're trying to fit in and you don't really. The ones where you're trying to fake it. That's exhausting. What's energizing? Those aligned, authentic, honest relationships in your life. So let go of the ones that are draining you and focus on the ones that are bringing energy. That's what a loving donor relationship makes possible. We talk about the joy and ease and flow of fundraising. It's about focusing in on loving relationships. Okay, that's it for me in this episode of the Influential Nonprofit. I am so happy you were here with me today. If you want to learn how to be a more influential fundraiser and have joy and ease and move people to action effortlessly, my link is always in the show notes. Please feel free to connect, and I am happy to go individually with you on what can matter the most. And I will see you next time on the Influential Nonprofit.